Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
27 after the hour, now we're back with Requell Griffith, Administrative Officer with the Barbados Accreditation Council. Requell, I think we know what the Accreditation Council is now. Let's go straight to the Caricom Skills Certificate. What is it exactly?
So the Caricom Skills Certificate is basically a document which gives skilled Caricom nationals the ability to seek work and gainful employment within qualified Caricom states.
So that's basically what it is. So
that's basically what it is.
You're going
and this
to say?
is without having to seek. Without having to seek a work permit. So I was just going to go on to tell persons what the qualifying Caricom states are, who they are, and these are comprised of 13 countries: Antigua and Barbuda, Brazil, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, Haiti, St. Kitts and Nevis. We have St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, and of course Barbados. And here within Barbados, we also facilitate or accept applications from nationals of Montserrat.
Is there any Caribbean island that is not accepting the Caricom Skills Certificate?
Only those nations that I would have noted are the ones that would accept Caricom certificates, certificates.
Now, what are the different categories of eligibility really to have access to a Caricom Skills Certificate?
So there are 12 categories here in Barbados, and I'm just going to go in a little bit about some of them. So the first category up is the graduate, and this category, persons with at least a bachelor's level degree can apply, and this is a degree from any university across the world. Then we have the artiste, and this particular category takes in consideration a vast number of persons. So you can be a visual artist, you can be a literary artist, a performing artist, or even a cultural worker. So we have persons like costume designers and builders. We have poets, script writers, stage managers, lighting technicians. All of these persons fall under this particular category or can apply under this category. Next up, we have musicians. We have sportsmen, and this includes those persons either professional or semi-professional. Teachers, nurses, professional nurses, media persons like yourself, Pearson. We have artisans, and these are skilled craftsmen and workmen. We have the holders of an associate degree or comparable qualification. So these are persons who have obtained at least an associate degree from a recognized and accredited university or college, or persons who've obtained a technical, professional, or a vocational qualification that is comparable to that of an associate degree. We also have household domestics, security guards, and agricultural workers, and those two would have been the last two categories to be added, and those were only added just last year.
So if I were a carpenter for the last 13 years, but I didn't go anywhere to learn, but I'm really great at my trade, can I also apply to the Barbados Accreditation Council to access one of those skill certificates?
Definitely. As a carpenter, you would be characterized as a self-employed person, and you may not have gone anywhere to do your trade, but you may have been part of an association, or you may also have gained a vocational skill along the way, a vocational qualification. So persons falling under that particular bracket, they can still apply, but obviously it would be on a case-by-case basis, and obviously dependent on the documentation, the supporting documentation that you provide.
So there must be, at least at the basis, some little bit of certification of some sort, right?
Some qualification, yes, some qualification. There are categories which do not require a qualification, but again, we want persons still to submit as much supporting documentation as they can. So if you have a portfolio of works, if you have done work on buildings, you can take photos, anything that can support your application, we encourage you to add when you're submitting.
I'm so glad you said that, because oftentimes we don't hear that part of it, that would assist us in being able to acquire that skills certificate. And of course, if you have any queries, we contact you guys at the Barbados Accreditation Council, and you will walk through the process with us. All the bits and pieces we need to know. Now,
yes,
on receipt of my skills certificate as well, would that entitle me to be able to permanently relocate to another Caribbean member state and work?
Well, right now, there's no rights regarding free movement solely for the purpose of residency or citizenship or permanent naturalization. So if a person wishes to migrate on that basis, they would still need to apply within the country that they desire to go to based on the laws of that country.
So we don't discard immigration rules, those still apply. It just means that as a skills certificate, you can actually use that now to gain employment where you are, but you still have to abide by the natural rules in the particular territory that exists. Traditionally we would have heard that you had to get a work permit. You know what I'm talking about, to be able to go somewhere and do your work. But this skills certificate now negate that.
Yes. So the skills certificate removes that that requirement for persons then to have to apply for a work permit. Once you have this skills certificate, you have the opportunity, or rather the benefit, of working with in any one of those qualifying Caricom nation states. And it also affords you the opportunity to play your trade in another country, financially benefit from that. It allows the country as well, or rather Caricom nations on a national level, to be able to fulfill and heighten their industries because of the free movement of labor.
Is it that once I've received it, it's valid for a lifetime?
It is valid for your lifetime, yes.
That is so comforting to hear. So I can have it, and I could go, let's say, to St. Kitts, and I'm working in media there, and then I decide, I want to move to St. Lucia because I want to do work there as well, and I can use the same certificate. It will be valid.
The same
there.
Certificate.
That's great.
Yes,
once we move within those accredited jurisdictions of which you've listed. So once again, for people who are watching this morning who are saying, I want one of those, I want to access the Caricom skills certificate, how can they begin that process?
So you come into the Barbados Accreditation Council to get one of the application forms, or you can log on to our very new and upgraded website at bac.gov.bb. And we have the forms available online. You can print the form, fill out the form. It must be signed by a Barbadian Justice of the Peace. And we submit that form along with two picture ping pongs, what we call ping pongs, passport size photos.
Yes.
You submit your qualifications. You also submit your references. You need reference letters, professional reference letters. If you are married, you need to submit your marriage certificate as well. And you also need to submit $100, which is the application fee for this particular service. Once you've submitted all the required documents, obviously for some categories you may need a little more, but that is the basic requirement for most of the categories.
And then it's simple, Simon, from there. The process does not take very long to be able to be completed.
No, it takes a minimum of 7 working days. It's 7 days for persons to obtain from the point of submission complete all the documentation submitted. So once we don't require any additional information from you. So once we don't have to reach out to you for any clarity or do any additional checks on the documents submitted, 7 working days a minimum, you should be able to get your skill certificate.
That is so fantastic. And then we're good to go and to play our trade in the Caricom. Where exactly is the Barbados Accreditation Council located?
So the Barbados Accreditation Council is located in Suite 1, Building 1, Manor Lodge Complex in Green Hill, St. Michael.
Across the street from Price Smart, right?
Yes,
Basically, can't
that's
miss it.
usually how I give you directions.
Say it like a Bajan, say it like a Bajan, across the street from Price Smart. There you go, that's Manor Lodge. And you look for Suite
Yes.
1, and because the signage is there, so you can't miss it. You really can't miss
You
it.
can't miss us. Yes.
I want to thank you so much for joining us today, Requell Griffith from the Barbados Accreditation Council. There's so much that we can benefit from by interacting with the Barbados Accreditation Council. Knowledge for sure, but access to the Caricom Skills Certificate as well through the Barbados Accreditation Council. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me, Pearson.
You are very welcome. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll meet Josiah.
Morning, morning,